There is always separation before elevation. I posted that quote on my community page. The quote is originally from Tony Gaskins Jr. And I always thought about that separation before elevation. And so, as I think about and as I look over the past few years, God is the one who does the separating before the elevating. God is the one who does that. He's the one who orchestrates the removal of the wrong people from your life. Targeted individuals, I came to encourage you on today that don't be dismayed when people start to disappear from your life. Don't be dismayed when people start to turn away from you. Don't start to be, don't be dismayed when people start to remove themselves from your life, because it's all working out for your good. Because if God didn't orchestrate the separating before the elevating, with the type of hearts that we have, hearts that are filled with empathy, compassion, sympathy, we have an unusual inclination to give people more chances than they deserve. We have a proclivity to give people the benefit of the doubt. We have the proclivity to believe that forgiveness means reconciliation. But nowhere in the Bible does it say that you offering forgiveness means that you have to reconcile with the people who did you dirty. Does not say that. And narcissistic gang stalkers will weaponize the ministry of forgiveness and reconciliation. They will weaponize that against you. And if you're not really listening, and if you're not really aware, you'll fall for it. You'll fall for, hey, you say that you're forgiving me, but I need to come back and be a part of your life. No. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. Forgiveness means that you free yourself from carrying the ball and chain of harboring unforgiveness against someone who has moved on with their life, or against someone who knows what they've done and they know that it was wrong. And so you free yourself. It's not about, accepting that what they did was right or that it was okay. It's not about forgiving them and that means that they can come and have a seat at your table again. No, it does not mean that. It doesn't mean that they can sit at your table again. Of course, you want them to eat. You don't want to see them starve to death, but they can eat somewhere else. They don't need to eat at your table. They don't need to, hitch a ride in your vehicle. They don't need to go for a row in your boat. Because you know what? After it's all said and done, some people, targeted individuals, you've given them too many chances. And they've continued to do the same thing over and over and over again. And you know why? Because they can. Because they can. I don't know if you've ever had someone to tell you that when you ask them, well, why did you do that? And for them to answer, because I can. Ooh, that's a mighty bold and arrogant statement. because you can. Just because you can do something doesn't make it right for you to do it. Just because you can do something doesn't mean it won't be consequences afterwards for what you thought you could do and get away with it just because you can. You know, narcissistic gang stalkers are the type of people that rules and boundaries don't apply to them. They want to live their lives having you to obey all the rules. Rules that they set up for you, boundaries that they set up for you as far as how far you can go. But when it comes down to it, the same rules and boundaries don't apply to them. Narcissistic gang stalkers will always break the rules in some form or fashion. They will always trespass over boundaries in some form, shape, or fashion. And so, getting back to the separation before elevation, God had to remove these people out of your lives because He knew that you wouldn't. He knew that because of the big heart that you have, that you would allow these people to continue to hang around you, even though they were causing all kinds of chaos, damage, confusion. He knew that in the life of a narcissistic gang stalker, a targeted individual is nothing but collateral damage. That's all we were, and that's all we will ever be in the eyes of narcissistic gang stalkers, is collateral damage. And the collateral damage extends beyond you. It extends to the people connected to you, your children. Sometimes your children are nothing but collateral damage to the narcissistic gang stalkers. And believe me, when they can't get to you, they will try to get to your children just to hurt you. Just to hurt you. But God, in all of His infinite wisdom and in all of His goodness, He knew and He saw what was going to happen before it even happened. He knew and He heard things that was said that you never had the opportunity to overhear. He saw the plots and the plans of the enemy before they even set them in motion. And so He said, the buck stops here. When God stands up, your enemies must sit down. Separation comes before elevation.